It's me, KP. I'm here in my studio, the Moon and the Maker, home of ArtFoamies. And guess what I'm here for? ArtFoamy Fun Friday. If you can believe that it's Friday again. Oh my goodness. Anyway, guess what? We have a very exciting ArtFoamy Fun here again for you all. We have a new pop-up from the one and only Robin Marie Smith. I think she's here. Hold on, let me see. Oh my goodness, Heather Bailey. And you know, Heather Bailey's here first, so she gets the gold star. And I want to thank Heather Bailey because Heather Bailey is the reason that Robin Marie noticed ArtFoamies. Yay, thank you, Heather Bailey. Pam Shales is here, Ellen, Holly, Lee, Krabby Abby, Janice, Lydia, Patty, Kim, Robin Marie Smith is in the house. Yay. Let's see, Patty, I said hello. Christina, Pancake and Lulu, Kim Hunter, welcome. Christina, did I say hello to you? My brain, and I'm reading the comments. I'm not going to even go there right now because we do not want to start ArtFoamy Fun Friday with tears, right? I've been so good all day. Sue is here, Brianna, Maxie Moon. Where? Yep. What? Where is a Patty sneak peek? Not yet. You have to wait for that. You have to wait for that. Sue, Carmen, welcome. Becky File is here. Karina. Who else? Brenda. Hi from South Carolina. And Evelyn. That's everyone I see right now. If you would love to say hello, and if you would love to give Robin Marie a big high five and a lot of kudos for this beautiful collection. I am going to turn the camera around. We're going to be talking about Robin Marie and about her new ArtFoamies. It is a pop-up, okay? So these will be available in the shop at artfoamies.com, okay, through November 3rd, okay? It will end on midnight or at midnight Central Time on October. I'm so sorry, on November 3rd. Anyway, okay, let's talk about this gorgeous collection of ArtFoamies made by Robin Marie Smith. And it is so great to get a chance to work with Robin Marie. Sorry, excuse my paper towels. I was cleaning them. Because, you know, Robin Marie and I, when we chatted, we have so much in common. I don't know how many of you have followed me since my rubber stamp days way back many moons ago, all the way back with Effie Glitzfingers. Who remembers that? Anybody? Because Robin Marie, I think, started Paper Bag Studios right around the same time. So it's crazy. We have a lot of love of rubber stamps in common, and you know, we've done a lot of similar career path things, so it's kind of cool, and love meeting a kindred spirit and getting a chance to work with another artist that I have loved and admired from afar for many moons. So I'll stop talking for a second. Let me read the comments for a second. Now I cannot speak to that right now. Many of you do know that Maxie Moon, my daughter, my oldest daughter, has worked with us for 9 years. 9 actually pretty amazing years. Not many parents can say they got to work with their kid for that long and still are standing. And Maxie Moon's going to be leaving us tomorrow. So please make sure you wish her a safe journey. She's going quite far away to the other side of the world. So please send her your good wishes and thoughts and all the good stuff for a safe journey. And we will miss her very, very much. But still have a lot to look forward to. And the first thing is Robin Marie Smith's ArtFoamies. So we do have for you, I think, let me count. You know what? I'm horrible at counting. So let me make sure we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which is what I thought. 7 sets, okay? 7 sets, mostly of 2. A couple have 3, and we're going to go over that right now. I was stamping them out in black on white canvas because actually Heather Bailey the other day said, ooh, they'd look so good in black and white. And actually it's not black, it's actually Payne's Gray acrylic on canvas. But I had not quite finished, so I'm gonna do that here with you, because I was gonna be, you know, doing a little mixed media, having a little Art Foamy fun while we are going over all these delicious designs. Okay, one thing that I actually really love about them is they are very chunky and bold. They are just fantastic abstract designs. So if you love to make abstract art, these are phenomenal. But if you love just to have some texture and some sort of distressed, you know, bold imagery, they also make great backgrounds. But again, one thing I love about them is they can also be focal points. Okay, I'm going to stop really quick and say hello to anybody who jumped on here. Did I miss? I don't know if I said hello to Puffer, Janice, Sue, Lisa, Bobby, and Lydia. I hope I didn't miss anyone. Okay, anyway, let's start at the top. Okay, we have Curve Theory. Okay, Curve Theory is these two stamps right here. And you know, it helps if I actually put a little white on there so you could see, but these are Curve Theory, set of 2. And again, one thing I also love about the size is that they are very nice to hold in your hand. We actually went back and forth, I think just one time, because we sent her a set that were really large, and she was like, no, you know, I really want to be able to hold these in my hand, so let's go a little smaller, and we did. And of course now I cannot find my small ruler to give you sizes, so let me pull out my regular ruler here. These are about almost 3 inches, you know, 2 3/4, okay? And of course it's not a square, but it's approximately 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. And this one's a little larger at about 3 1/4. And again, here they are. I really do like to stamp them out in dark colors so you can just see the graphic, bold design, sort of without any fluff. And then I will share them with you painted in color as well. Oh, thanks so much. Oh my gosh. That's service with a smile. All right, the next set is called Echoes and Edges, and it is this set here, which I love too, because it does nest inside of itself, so you can use it as a positive and negative together, but of course looks great layered just like that. Again, a set of 2, and this one, what I would call the inside, is about 4 inches by a little over 1 1/4, and this would be just a little bit bigger at about 5 1/2 by about 2. Okay, again, that's called Echoes and Edges, and it is a set of 2. What's next? This one is called Leaf It To Me. Oh, you got to have a little humor when naming stamps. And actually, it's great. Robin Marie named all her stamps, which I also love. I love naming stamps. And you can tell that she also has a little experience at it. So Leaf It To Me is a set of 2. I also love it because it really just looks like some, you know, I don't know, some marks. You can also use them as trees in the background. And again, sort of the positive and negative. So if you want to outline them, you can. And again, I'm guesstimating these are around 3 inches. Yeah, 3 by around 2 1/2. Again, a set of 2 for the Leaf It To Me. Wendy, welcome. Okay, next up, and I have to say, I love and adore this set. It is a set of 3, and it is called Paper Cut Parade. And I love it too because I feel like it's a little mid-century modern, and you have this sort of stacked arches, and then you have a couple that are just by themselves, you know, individuals. And I know I have this taped down to my table a little too far, so let me pull it up here so you can see it. And that is Paper Cut Parade. So again, it's almost like you're getting 4 stamps in one. So of course, you know, you can cut this apart if you wanted to. Personally, I would not do that, but you can definitely use it as one, you know, by just, of course, inking one side or the other. And I love the stacking ability. Again, sort of mid-century modern with, you know, just sort of funky modern twist, you know? And again, paper cut parade, a set of 3, smallest one being just about 2 inches, 3 by about 1.5, and 3 by about 2. Okay. And again, there they are right there. Paper cut parade. Next up, we do have Smudge Squad. And again, it is a set of 3, and it's kind of like a couple, it's almost like X's and O's, except for it's not X's, it's more like asterisks. So asterisks and O's. But of course, I know, and I'm a sucker for a circle. So love this one. This is one that I had not yet stamped out. So let's go ahead and stamp it. Brackets. Yes, brackets. Okay, gotcha. Paper cut brackets. I love it. So here I am using a scrap buddy with my acrylic paint right on here. I just want you to note that when I do it, I will tap, tap, tap very gently and then give it like a little rub. I don't want to smush or smash too hard because then it will get a lot of the paint down in the recessed areas where I do not want it, okay? So that otherwise I will take more of a chance on getting like, you know, more like edge or shadow stamping. So when you're inking up or loading up your art foamy with acrylic paint especially, and using a, you know, using a sponge like surface like a scrap or stamp buddy, just make sure you tap gently and then give it a little rub, trying not to get acrylic paint or paint whatever or ink around on your recessed areas. Okay, and again, make sure if you're using acrylic that you clean your stamps off. You don't want your acrylic to dry hard on there, otherwise they just won't stamp the same, and you also won't be able to use your water-soluble media as well. Okay? Yes, thank you everyone for being here tonight and for all the love and appreciation and kudos that you are sharing with Robin Marie and with Art Foamies, of course. We appreciate you. Not just tonight, but every day, and especially on Art Foamy Fun. And there's 1 and 2, just a little difference in size. And of course, you can also see that they have a little bit of a distressed look to them, which I really love. It's just not solid, perfect lines. You know, it's sort of gritty and has a little distress to it. So really, really nice. Karen, welcome. Thanks for coming. Hi, Maureen. Again, this is a set of 3, and it is called Smudge Squad. Okay, so Smudge Squad is a great sort of filler. It is just a really handy set to have. Of course, these images go with any and all other art foamies, you know, because they are just so versatile. This has to probably be another favorite of mine because I am a sucker for a scallop. I love the fact that it's just sort of imperfect sort of waves, if you will. And this one is called Wiggle Room. Love that name too. Yeah, such cool designs, right? And that's Wiggle Room 1. And here's Wiggle Room 2. Couple really nice, sort again, imperfect sort of scallops. One chunky and bold, and the other more linear and wavy. Okay, so that, my friends, is the whole collection. Again, 7 sets, mostly sets of 2 with a couple sets of 3. Longer because it makes a great edge or border at about 5 inches by almost 1. And again, this about the same 5.5 inches. by, 3/4, meaning the width of both lines, okay? Yeah. Carissa, hello. Thanks so much for coming. Okay, that, my friends, is the whole collection. And again, I have it here stamped out for you in Payne's Gray, actually acrylic, although I'm sure it probably reads fairly dark on camera. And you know, I really wanted to do it in solid black. Thought about doing it in black gesso, but I wanted to try this acrylic that I bought, and I didn't have a black. I only had Payne's Gray, so I like it pretty well. It's a nice, you know, nice thick opaque paint. Because I really did also then want to put some washes right over the top of this, possibly using some shades of gray. In in order to sort of, I'm going to pull this out. This is the page I did when I did my sneak peek the other day in my group, and we did this just on watercolor paper using watercolor. Okay, so I wanted to do something similar using acrylic on canvas. So, and I'll kind of end up showing you both just for, you know, grins and giggles and for makeys, right? Renee Van Dusen, thanks for coming. We're here celebrating and sharing Robin Marie Smith's new pop-up. So, and of course, I'm just assuming that everyone already follows Robin Marie. Robin Marie has been in the mixed media world for many moons. You can visit Robin Marie. And it is Robin Marie Smith. And please, Robin Marie, feel free to share your link in the comments to your website. We did share your Instagram page in our newsletter, but you can also share that if you would like to. I want everybody to know about all of your offerings. She does have a extensive classroom, and I think something that opens up every so often called the Robin's Nest. Am I right? So let me pull out. Oh goodness, use a little more acrylic. And I think I'm just gonna pull out the shading gray. Okay, we're gonna do a little shading gray. I'm gonna do this whole thing just with some black and white and gray, okay? And again, in a similar manner to this, although this is watercolor on watercolor paper, okay? And again, just reminding you, reiterating that I did clean off all my stamps after I used acrylic on them, okay? Oh, are we still having audio problems? I'm so sorry. Robin Marie says audio is good for me. Thought it was just me. Yep. Here, let me see if I can turn up my volume a little bit. And I'll try to be better about talking into this microphone. I've been having some microphone problems. Is that a little bit better? Anyway, right now you saw me stamp this in acrylic, okay? Again, I used just some Payne's Gray, sort of a thicker, more heavy body acrylic. I applied it using my Scrap Buddy onto my stamps, and now I'm just going to take a little of this shading gray high flow acrylic, all right? And I am going to if I can get it open, 1 second. Yeah, please turn your volume all the way up if you can. Yeah, it's something to do with my microphone. Let me see let me see this again. Yep, it's my microphone, people. I'm sorry about that. Okay. So I just have this shading gray. Again, it is a very pale gray. And I'm going to use it to, it's kind of watery. And that is a terrible brush. See if I have one that isn't crusted shut. Okay. We've been doing, I've been doing a lot of stuff on raw canvas lately and really enjoying it, and using a lot of the pieces from the raw canvas. I've been using it to create like book covers and just, I don't know, all kinds of fun stuff. You know what I always say, they don't call it mixed media for nothing. So I thought this would just be a fun demo, and you can kind of see how I like to layer some using my ArtFoamies. I'm gonna end up probably using some, oh gosh, maybe some other shades of gray too, or yeah, I probably will. I'm gonna also pull out another color of gray, maybe even use some inks, I don't know. Or I might have to end up pulling in some, no, maybe I'll just use white. And keep in mind too that whatever ArtFoamies or, you know, stencils, because I'm sure you must have some of Robin Marie's stencils, right? You can use stencils with this. You know, just want to get on some base layers of wash, you know. And I really won't lie to you, I wish that, oh good, I don't know what is going on. Some people are saying the volume's great and other people are saying it's cutting in and out. So as you probably know, I have no idea, which I'm sorry about. All right, and I'm smushing with a little water. And remember too that if any of your acrylic that you stamped on here is still wet, you know, it'll move. So just be aware of that. And I am going to I actually am going to mix a little white in with this gray to make another color of gray. Another, I should say another shade, not another color. Another, yeah, another value. How about that? Yes, Robin Marie, please add your link if you can. All right, that's a little different of a color there, so that's nice. Why do I keep calling it a color? You know it's not a color. A tone, right? It would be a tone. When you add white to a color, you get a tint. When you add gray to a color, you get a tone. And when you add black to a color, you get a shade. Now I am mushing with water, making it, you know, pushing some of that around a little bit more. And so now if you did want to add any color to this, it would be fun, right? But I'm not going to. I'm just going to take And we're basically going to do tone on tone. I'm just going to take my stamps again, and I'm going to go in. I can use either a little bit of rubbing alcohol sprayed on there, okay? Oops, oh, look what I did. I should have sprayed it away. Let me, shame on me for doing that. Don't spray it over your canvas. I mean, unless you want all that, but anyway, spray it over to the side. Okay, a little rubbing alcohol, and then you can take and kind of move some of that acrylic and make some ghost prints, you know. That'll be fun. You can also then take your, especially if your acrylic is dry, let's go ahead and dry that just a little bit. All right, so now I'm gonna just take, and you know, I think I'm gonna take a little of my black acrylic now, carbon black acrylic, and I am gonna just go ahead and paint that on there. Of course, you can use your stamp or scrap buddy, but I already have a little on my brush, so I might as well just do that. And then let's go ahead and stamp into there. Again, using just different layering, you know, to put tone on tone or to pull color out. If I don't like something, it's really easy to go in and smush it right out, especially if your acrylic is already dry, okay? Because then you can, like so. I do want to use some white also, so I'm going to be sort of layering back and forth, grays, blacks, whites, whatever. It's also fun to, and you know, I kind of want to just switch. I don't want to keep using the same image. Let me do this one first with a little white. And again, some will be very subtle. You might not even really see it. Just very little, almost like, you know, ghosting. The good kind of ghosting. Bev Gwen Jones, welcome. It's great to see you. Are you home or still gallivanting around? All right, I'm gonna continue. I think I want a little dark up in here again, but not too dark. I think I'm gonna, again, you can mix colors. I keep calling it colors. Mix your values. How nice that looks, right? Tone on tone. Let's so subtle, right? Again, trying to go for the unity and the variety. Let's do this. I love this little guy. Ugh, looks so good. Let's wipe that off, and I'm gonna go spritz it with a little rubbing alcohol and see if I can just get a little ghost print over here. Oh, well, it had a little, actually it worked out okay. It had a little still acrylic on there, and look what it did. Kind of like how that did that. Oh, I wiped off the squiggles that you liked. It does happen sometimes. Don't worry. Sometimes I wipe some of the stuff off that I like too. And I don't really, you know, mean to necessarily. It just happens. Oh, were these the squiggles that you liked? Good thing I can easily make that happen again if I want to. And look, if you do something that you don't like, again, if you have dry acrylic underneath, it is a little bit easier to wipe away your layers and do it over, but do this. Just see an opportunity. And this is, I will say, this is definitely the kind of thing that you can get completely just lost in, right? Like I could just sit here and start, you know, schmutzing around for hours, getting this how I like it, wiping things away, sort of making it, you know. I started working on a shirt. I didn't get very far. I will show it to you before we, you know, before we're done, but anyway, and you know, lots of times like the edges will be torn off, or we'll end up cutting it or tearing it into strips. So if you do have little areas that you don't love, or you know, you did something that you don't like that much, it's not really a big deal. And remember, you can also gesso or acrylic right over it, right? So just have a lot of fun and experiment and play, uh, and layer, 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 layer. I always say you can't fake the layers, and that is the truth. So I love that. And so I'm going to pull out too. Here, let me wipe this and pull out the colored one again, just so you can see. And remember, you don't have to use them in their entirety either. Maybe you just want to use a little piece of it, like so, right? Again, with the unity and variety makes the world go round. All right. So, and that's what I wanted to share with you over on the watercolor sheet that I did, how you can layer some of those pieces and look, oh, just love, right? How some of it's kind of showing through, you know, and I did color in some of the outline ones, but you can still see the layers peeking through. And so lots of little, again, tone on tone, or sort of like little ghost prints that you barely notice in the background. Super fun. And so it doesn't matter, right, whether it's, look at that, the difference between the black and white, or black, white, and gray, and then a completely different medium, and then with the watercolor. Yeah, so this is with both, and I will share with you how I did this too, just really quickly, because it is so similar to the way that I just worked on here, right? There's not that much difference between the way that I did it, but I'll just share with you. Let me just get a smaller piece of watercolor paper here. Well, maybe I don't have a smaller piece. Hold on. So here we go. This is 140-pound watercolor paper. And I did with a variety of sticks and plain watercolor. So I did take, let's use these here again. Oops. So I spritz them with a little water, okay? Because you're not really wet, you just need them kind of moistened. And of course, keeping in mind that if your watercolor sticks, and these are the Daniel Smith watercolor sticks, if they're like mine get a little other colors on them, or you know, they get a little grungy, I guess you could say, sometimes that works out great. You can mix and match right on here if you want to. You know, like if you want to do a little shading like so, pop that down, that. All right, and let's go ahead and we'll do this little paper cut parade guy over here too, just for a different color combination. Like so, and of course, if you want to use your regular watercolors even to mix on here, you could. You can also use a brush. You can also apply a watercolor tube watercolor to your scrap buddy and do it this way. So whatever, you know, works for you. Or maybe you don't, you know, sometimes I might not have the color of stick that I want, but I have it in a tube, so I just will do that. Also, sometimes if your stick, again, sometimes mine are a little grungy or they don't color very smooth. If you want to smooth it out, you can take your brush and just smooth it, okay? All right, so there's that. And then you can kind of let it dry. Now, remember, though, that your watercolor will always stay, you know, water soluble. Like even if I let it dry later, if I come back to it, it still will move, right? I want one more little O down here. Oops, well, I got that a little smushy. Oh, well. And then I just will take whatever watercolor, either from my palette. Sometimes I will still use my sticks, so like I can, you know, just get a little wet brush and go right on my stick like that. Paint right over. And then I'll go in here and like I want maybe a little green gold, so I'll just and again, remember these will sort of move if you want some of that color, or also if you don't want it to be what am I trying to say? Like if you, sometimes the watercolor will stamp with a little texture. If you don't want that, you can just go with a little water and sort of push that out. And then I like to, you know, just sort of float in different colors. So maybe here, I think a teal would look nice. So it's lots and lots of layers, and you know, it works great, of course, again, with stencils. You can, you know, stamp your rubber stamps in here too. Lots of fun ways to mix it up, of course, using the ArtFoamies. It is one thing that I love, again, or one of the many things I love about ArtFoamies is how nicely they do play with other, you know, art materials and supplies. They really work with almost every kind of paint. They lend themselves to using with stencil, you know, or conjunction with stencils, and of course our rubber stamps too. And then I might go ahead and, you know, even take like my watercolor stick again and do some other little things again to sort of maybe unify it a little more, just to give it some more added layers and textures. And smushing a little water usually helps. Not always, but oftentimes. Anyway, that's how I did that. All right, my friends, guess what we have tonight? Numbers game. And guess what else? Robin Marie picked the number. So if you win, does everybody here know how to play the numbers game? Let me remind myself. Yeah, so if you win tonight, it's the first person to guess the number closest without going over between 1 and 100. If you guess the same number as somebody else, it doesn't matter. Keep your same number. I will call it out, and it's the first person to have guessed it. So the person that gets closest without going over will win a set of Robin Marie's of your choice. Okay? So we'll get started. I will give you until 4:45, and Stephanie Martin is starting it off at 22. Thank you so much, Janice, Puffer, everyone. Oh, Brad says 37. Okay, let me start here. Oh my goodness, you guys are going so fast. Okay, so we started at Stephanie, 22. Renee Van Duzen, 79. Lee, 8. Ginger, 11. Lisa, 13. Carmen Jones, 34. Patty McFarlane, 5. Jenny Maroney, 51. Becky, 27. Brad, 37. Evelyn, 27. Sue, 17. Janice, 26. Acme, 32. Carissa, 37. Holly, 55. Orange Spiral, 16. Karen, 84. Pam, 24. Bev, 77. Karina, 7. Christina, 62. Christine Schiaffo, 57. Kristen Hoffman, 77. Sherry H, 47. Alex, 87. Puff, 53. Lydia, 80. Pancake and Lulu, 33. Maureen, 42. Krabby Abby, 6. Yolanda, 88. Whoo! Wow. Ellen Bush, 4. Anyway, oh my goodness. This has been such a fun ArtFoamy Fun Friday. I am so thrilled to have Robin Marie Smith's ArtFoamies in the house. And I will say it is a pop-up, so they will be ending on November 3rd, which we are already sad about. However, you know, we loved working together, or at least I can speak for myself. So hopefully we'll do it again. And maybe, I don't know for sure, but Robin Marie may have some in her shop at some point. Okay? We don't know yet. Hopefully it won't be the last chance forever is what I'm saying. All right? But you never know. It could be. All right, let's see here. Where did we end? Ellen Bush, 4. Justy, 68. Kim Hunter, 58. And that's it. No more number. Oh, let's see. Did we have any last numbers called out? Okay. No more numbers. We do have a winner, an on the nose winner. And that person is Karina Alvarez. Now she guessed number 7. Yay! I'm going to write your name on here, Karina. Please email us at artfoamiestamps@gmail.com and let us know what set you choose, okay? Karina. All right, so thank you so much for playing along. Oh my gosh, thank you all for coming to Art Foamy Fun Friday. I hope that you had a great week and that you have a great weekend. I want to thank Robin Marie Smith again, not only for her amazing designs and great collaboration, but also just for coming and hanging out with us tonight and, you know, just being a part of the fun. All right, I'm going to turn the camera around. I also, of course, want to thank Maxie Moon for being a wonderful daughter and the most amazing employee anybody could ever ask for. I'm going to miss her, you, Maxie Moon, so much. I love you. And of course, you know, I think you all know that Maxie will be back in December to get her dog. So it is not goodbye forever. So hopefully you all can see her here for an Art Foamy Fun or two in December. Okay, I'm going to turn this camera around. Thank you again so much. Oh, wait, I got to show you the shirt. I want to show you the shirt. Okay, my hands are a little dirty, but that's okay. And it is not done, okay? But this is, again, Heather Bailey's idea. And I do want to share with you. I bought this shirt at the thrift shop for $2, and I'm very excited about how it's going to turn out. I'm going to load it up, okay? And here's my collar. You like that collar? And I'm going to do the arms and, of course, the back. So I'll show it to you when I'm done. And that's it for tonight. I love you all to the moon and back. And you know the deal. Stay safe, stay sane, stay makey. Thanks again. And I'll see you real soon. Have a wonderful weekend. And I'll see you next week. Bye, everyone. Thanks, Robin Marie.